Om Bangme Manashi Pratisthita Mano Me Vachi Pratishtitam Avir Avir Maidhi Vedasamo Anistha Srutang Mema Prahasi Anenadhi Tenaho Ratran Sandadami Ritang Badishyami Satyang Badishyami Tanmam Avatu tad bhaktaram avatu, avatu mam, avatu bhaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. May my speech be fixed in my mind. May my mind be established in my speech. O self-manifested Atman, do thou manifest thyself unto me. O my mind and speech, be fit to reveal to me the supreme knowledge. May I not forget what I have heard. Without forgetting what I have learned, may I be able to study day and night. The right will I speak, the truth will I speak. May Brahman protect me. May Brahman protect the preceptor. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So today our topic is the real ID. Nowadays, it is necessary to have a real ID. If you want to travel, to enter into plane, of course, few dates are still there up to May someday, that without real ID we cannot enter into the plane for another destination. That's why real ID is necessary. We have some ID. That ID, normally what we understand by ID is identification or identity. And that ID is related to what? My name, how much I am height, my height is there, how my eyes are brown or black. All the description are related to this body and the appearance, what we are carrying. But real ID is something more than that. If we see in this case of ID and real ID in the state affair of California or every state, we find that there is something special. They want double proof that you are a resident, you are something more. And there is also some symbol. In the California ID includes a gold bear and star on the right corner. Some signs are there. If you are really holding the ID, real ID, then your life, there should be some special signs of spirituality developed. This ID in which we are always moving, walking, and living in this life, it is all related to our day-to-day transactional life and the pleasure and pain, the suffering and joys, that is connected with this body and mind. That is our ID. But there is a divine identity which we can explore inside to find our real person who is behind. So, in the psychological analysis, Google says the part of the mind in which innate instinctive impulses and primary processes are manifested, that is called ID. It comes out. What is there inside in the mind, it manifests through our life's experiences, movement and everything. But that real ID is a state ID that doubles as federally recognized form of identification. We know this is the state recognition. Local people will live here. To federal, the whole universe will recognize that identity is the real identity, meaning here we can transcend our limited personality into that cosmic personality. So real identity is that which we are really. And this identity which we are by only connected this way, that we are born in such and such date, but we have been education of such and such. All the data of our which we have gained here and we lose here, nothing we can carry. That is our identity. So as we grow, our identity changes. When we are child, we have one type of identity. Baby have no identity. Even he has no connection with the world even. And as we grow, our identity is changing every day. We are going from childhood to youth, adulthood, then going to senior citizen, then going to the old age. So it is all, identity is changing, and we feel that I am old, I am young, and I am connecting always with what is happening to this body and mind. So our life goes on, and our identity also, today's identity, changing into another identity. But there is something unchanging identity in us, which is beyond, which is not affected by our experiences of happiness or misery, our joys and suffering, our achievement, our failures, our being poor, or our being rich. It does not affect that. That is the called drashta, cheta, sakshi. These are the names. Kevala, nirgunascha. That this is the identity which is witnessing everything. This relative experiences having to the senses or to our mental existence in mental plane, it is observing all this. That is the drashta, eternal drashta. That is the I, unchanging I. And change is always had to have to the unchanging. Without the background of unchanging, we cannot experience the changes. But we do not know that. We are not aware of it. That's why this identity is not totally separate from the eternal identity, but it is a wrong interpretation and identification with the limited things and forgetting our unlimited reality which is behind. In the Vedanta, we talks about the Mahavakya Vichar, the analysis of the high great dictum. A great dictum is, you, thou art that. That dictum, thou art that. Thou the limited, or the consciousness behind thou is the same consciousness behind that who is called God, the Ishvara, the controller, the creator, the sustainer. We are jivas here, individual, so limited in power. And God is the creator God. There is difference in the manifestation. But if we go back of Ishvara, God, the Lord, and if we go behind us, this apparent body-mind complex, the same, that consciousness, this and that, are the same. So this Mahavakya, this is called great dictum, there are analysis, how to do that analysis. They have technical terms. It is called Jahat Lakshan, Ajahat Lakshan, you cannot manage. I'm not going into details of that. But Jahat Ajahat Lakshan you can find out. Give up something and add something, hold to something, give up something, and don't give up. Retain something and give up something. So what is this personality? There are two identities there. One is the physical body-mind, flesh, bone, marrow, your neuron, this, that, making this physical body to act. This is to be rejected because it is changing every day. But the consciousness behind is to be accepted. It's called Jahat Ajahat Lakshana, the sign to indicate how to reach that point of unity with the divine. What is the goal of Vedantic teaching? That I am that, and thou art that. So here the explanation comes, it has to be interpreted by this principle of retaining some idea which is changeable, giving up that identity which is changing, and retaining that which is unchanging. So similarly in the creation, the Lord is creating this universe. Behind that cosmic Lord, or we call God, there is that consciousness behind. Because God also dissolves at a point when he is absorbed into his inner self. Brahman and its manifestation is this universe. The cosmic ignorance is creating this cosmic reality. And individual ignorance is creating this body, mind, and what I see added to that. So here it has to be interpreted by that type of analytical approach, which is called tat tam, thou art that, to give up that part which is changeable aspect, which is always subject to time, space, and causation, and is born in time, dies in time. So that is to be rejected, and to find out, search inward, what is that which giving us the appearance in this world, working in this world, talking to each other, what is that consciousness behind, to go that part which is unchanging. And that unchanging consciousness is there with you, unchanging consciousness is there in me, and that permeates everywhere, and that is called the Brahman, Tat Tamasi. There you are united. If you say, as Swami Vivekananda said, a clay ant and a clay elephant, Ishvara, God, is clay elephant, big. And we are tiny, like small ants. Though are materially same, it's the same earth element made of earth. But this tiny ant can never be elephant. You cannot be God. That's why when we speak in this country, sometimes we make a mistake. When we express God, we mean that transcendental God. Otherwise, I cannot be God. You know, once I went into one interfaith meeting, and it was in a church, and when inadvertently I said God, I am one with God, then I was in trouble. Then I said, sorry, it's my mistake. I cannot be God. You ordinary person born that day, you are subject to so much mental pressure and things, and you get easily lost into these trifles of life, and you become God? How dare you say? No. God should have to give up his godly characteristic. The consciousness behind God, which is actually the cosmic consciousness, and the consciousness behind me is the same. Clay is same, but not the manifestation of infinite power and the petty little power. So this is called the statement Tattvamasi. It indicates, thou art that, indicates the union of the visible and invisible consciousness. The consciousness which is visible means we are walking, I am talking, I am seeing you, you are seeing me. These are transactional world. Our activity is going on visible, but there we see that this is the consciousness. We don't penetrate into it. What is the power behind this consciousness? Keno Upanishad says, Kene shitang preshitang patati manaha. What is the prompting force behind this? My mind runs into objects. What is the power behind this mind? Who gives force to prompt my mind and engages my eyes to fall in the objects of the senses? Kena prana prathamo praiti yukta, the prathamo prana, the vital energy is moving. What is the behind power? Which sometimes we die. When people dies, what happens? This prana does not move. But the consciousness does not die. That consciousness is prompting the prana to function. So the Kena Upanishad says that inquiry into that power which motivates us in our day-to-day transaction. It is not the senses alone. And there is a story, no? That story goes that all the gods means the power behind the eyes, there is one God. The ear, there is another God. Mane, this presiding deity we concept. So when these senses and the conquering the demons, this gods win over the war, and then they were having a conference of the gods conference. And they are sitting together, and their chief of the gods is Indra. He was sitting. And all these gods are now being proud that they have destroyed the demons, no? And then they said, oh, how did we destroy? Someone is taking the pride. I am the fire god, so I burn them all. I am the water god of the rain. I just created flood and everyone is swept around that. So I. And there appeared one in uncognizable appearance. He neither looks like a man, neither like a god, neither like demon, and they could not recognize. So everyone was asked to recognize that unrecognizable personality. And they are going with pride. The god of fire is going with pride. Then that personality, which is not a personality, appeared, and he said, "What? Who are you?" And then he said, "Don't you know? I am the god of fire." And, "Oh, what is your strength?" He said, "My strength you don't know." "What a fool, you don't know my strength. I can burn the whole world. I can destroy if I like." "Oh, is it so? Okay. Could you please burn this small, tiny piece of grass?" And he started with all his energy, all his power, but could not burn that even a blade of grass. And he felt humiliated and came back to the conference room, said, "I could not recognize that God." And then one after another, the fire, wind god and others went, and everyone came back with the same response, that I could not recognize what that power. Then everyone said, "You are our leader, Indra, god of gods. You go on our behalf." And when Indra went, at least these other gods were seeing that divine entity, but as soon as Indra went there, the divine entity disappeared. And then, but he was Indra, a little more matured in spiritual wisdom. So he then sat and started meditating. And then they say that there is mother, there appeared in the meditation, Umam Hoimavating. Their mother, divine mother, appeared and gracefully appeared in the vision of Indra. Then Indra said, the mother was very happy. Mother said, "Oh Indra, what do you want? Ask any boon from me." Then Indra said, "I don't want to ask any boon, but first we'll ask that later on. But please tell me, what is that divine entity? We could not recognize, any one of us could not recognize, and disappeared before me." Then the mother said, "Don't you know, that is Brahman, that is the Atman, that is the power behind your all power and energy, even godly power to win anything, that is the power behind you, that is the all-pervading idea of all of us. No? That is the consciousness." So the question is the visible universe. In this universe we are interacting. There is consciousness behind my every movement, every blinking of the eyes, every feeling, every emotion. It is because of that conscious entity behind it is manifesting. Robots are functioning. It is all robotic world. And it is all functioning. We see the functionality outside. But you do not know what is the power behind that. And that is the consciousness. So the visible consciousness and the invisible consciousness, which I cannot see, they are one. That ultimately this manifestation of the movement of my hand and eyes and ears and whatever we are doing, it is because of that consciousness. But that consciousness is penetrating into everything. So it is all nothing but consciousness, nothing but bliss. But I don't see that. That is the real identity when we can tune ourselves into that and merge into the oneness. So opposing visible and invisible attributes are dropped. What is the opposing attributes? Our attribute. I am a man. I am a woman. I am educated. I am not educated. I am rich. I am poor. I know. I don't know. That all this is the jiva, individuality. This individuality which we are proud of, in Vedanta says, drop those individualities. All these individualities are becoming powerful because of the consciousness behind, because of the Satchidananda self behind. So that you drop you as an individual soul, you drop the concept that God is the ruling entity. If both are gone, in identification comes into the conscious level, then it is one, and that is called aham brahmasmi. I am that. That is the conclusion. Thou art that. It is possible only in that level, not the level of manifestation. The ant made of clay and the elephant made of clay, though made of clay, they are one, but not in manifestation. But drop that manifested identity. And that is, we are dealing day and night with the manifested identity. To look back, go back to the real ID, who I am, who is the power behind. So we live and die, we rejoice and suffer, we pass our days in misery or joy, identifying with our limited, this condition of the body and mind. This is our day-to-day identity, or our ordinary ID card. But at the back of these IDs, there is something more, who is observer and who is the cause of all these experiences. Is the real experiencer remaining, and at least he is not disturbed, unperturbed by good comes or bad comes, or joy comes and happiness. It is only is observing all the time. It is like the example is given traditionally, a movie and a white screen. The screen remaining the same, but it's giving the support of all the projections. And this projection is this universe going on the unchanging screen. Or we can think of the movie is run when there is a lamp. That lamp which is burning and a reel is moving over that. Movement of the reel, which is not eternal, not permanent, it's all changing, is happening because of the unflickering lamp which is shining every experiences, every projections. So this is the point we have to understand, that we live in our projected appearance. And this projected appearance is in ignorance. It is wrong. It is wrong interpretation of the truth. We see the name and form, but we don't see what is behind the form. Who is that creating that changes, and how it is possible. Of course, nowadays laser show, that happens in the space, no? They can do in the night. You go to Disneyland, every night there is a laser show. So in the space you can see so many things going on. But space is the ground. Maybe in our movie hall we find a white screen, but there is space, and then space creates that with the laser light, they create things. But they are not true, they are for the moment. In our life also, nothing is permanent. It is only for the moment we are experiencing. A moment passes, situation changes. Our mood changes. Our likes and dislikes changes. Everything is happening in this world is a change and change and change. And we are identified with those changes only, never thinking that's what is happening. This change is happening. But who am I then? Who I am thinking that I have a bad experience in my childhood. I had a good experience. I had a blessed day. I saw a Swami that time. I had contact with some spiritual personality. I went to the temple that year. Who is that behind all this undisturbed? And we never think we have become old. We have become old bodily. Even now we remember that what I have an experience when I was 1 year's baby, and what I experienced when I was 20 years old. Do I think that I am the different person? Internally, none of us feel that I am a different person. I am the same one person. We don't keep our awareness in that way. But the point is that everything which is happening, the changes coming and going. But I am the unchanging reality all the time. Every one of us. It does not need any philosophy. It does not need to understand this philosophy that it is something unusual. It is everyone's experience. That's why no faith is necessary here. No, this Vedanta is such that no faith and no belief system, no faith system. But we have to, it gives us, directly leads us to understand what is the real ID. This ID shall I hold on. Now understanding this ID, which we are all familiar, and from the birth, our parents, our friends, they give us this training. Oh, this is your eyes. We don't know. I have no identification when I was a baby. Every baby, all of us, when you are born, you have no identification. It is your eyes or ears or nose, hand, feet, nothing. And as we grow, then we are taught, this is your identification. You are a man, you are a boy, you are a girl. This identification. Everything identification in this material world came. We are taught and we are trained. And in Vedanta it says you are drifting from your eternal nature to go into the identification of thousands of things outside. But in the material world it says you are a knowledgeable person if you know so many things and identify with so many things. You know physics, you know chemistry, you know astrology, you know botany, you know all these things. You are a knowledgeable person. But Vedanta says, knowing one is the knowledge. Knowing many is ignorance. Ignorance in the sense, it is wrong identification. It is not real ID. We can spend our life, all through life, in specializing one subject. When we die, that knowledge, of course we believe, Vedanta says, it stays in our mind in the subconscious level. But majority of the achievements, all your lifelong achievements, all the files, we cannot take anything with us. We cannot take a piece of hair of my body. I cannot take anything of my friends or bank balance or anything here. That is the point, the body. And we are trained to think that I am the body. That's why we have to train ourselves. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the Atman. I am the pure soul. There is one story. Swami Turiyananda Maharaj was Hari Maharaj sick. And during last, many devotees used to come and see. So one lady is coming and saluting every day. Naturally, motherly figure. Mother says, "Aap kaisa hai? How are you?" Hari Maharaj said, "I'm keeping well." Okay. And second day, also she came and did the pranam and asked, "Swamiji, kaisa hai? How are you?" He said again, "I'm okay. Physically, I'm okay." And third day, then Swami Turiyananda responded, "I want to forget that body. And you are coming every day and reminding you are the body. How is your body? How is your body? How is your body?" I'm not the body. That's my spiritual sadhana. I'm not the body. Body is changing. Which body you are talking about? We talk of our body, no? Which body you are talking about? Your 10 years old body? 20 years old body? 30 years old body? 40 years old body? Now we are much more. 50, 60, 70. We are now 80. Which body you are talking about? I am the body and I react. Someone praises me, "Oh, you look so good." I feel, I am beautiful. No. This identification is giving you a wrong interpretation. You are eternally pure, eternally beautiful. But that eternal beauty is not the point. When it is coming to the skin, to the face, we say, I am beautiful. And I am sick, and I become diseased, and I become rickety, and I lose my all beauty. Then, no one looks at me. Identification. That is not me. But we are troubled by this way, and we always get in this misunderstanding that I am this body. But this body is today's body you are talking about. Tomorrow, by the time we already 30, 40 minutes, our body has changed. We cannot hold this body. What the question of holding our mind? Mind runs in such speed, in split second. And it is changing. And what a Maya we call. That we live in this consciousness only in the time, body and mind. And this limit, and that limits us from everyone. My body, my mind. Many people don't think of anybody. Only me and mine, me and mine. Ahamidam, mamaidam. That naishargiko and loko vyavahara. This is the human transactional relationship. Me and mine, me and mine. The whole world is fighting with each other. One country bombing on the other country. Me and mine, my territory, your territory. I. I am today the king and I will expand, I will do. So this I and me and mine, and that is a wrong interpretation, wrong idea, because it is changing. The reason is that it is changing, it is not real. If it is unchanging, then it is real. So real means that. And that reality is to be understood. That real I, we don't identify. Let us identify with that real I. And that real I is all the time with me. It has not left me when now I am talking. Without that I cannot speak. It does not leave me when I go to dream in the night time. You go to your bed, you say, I dreamt. That real I is not leaving us. And that is we should identify into that. But what a foolishness, we are always projected outside. Paranchikhani matrinat sayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. Also God has created this with this magical show of ignorance that we don't look back. Who is there now at this point of waking state? Giving me all my human personality is alert to work in the physical universe. When I'm going to dream, what is that consciousness who is observing my dream? Who is there in my dream time? My mind has created the entire dream. No third party has come to my dream. I didn't go to your dream, you don't come to my dream. But your dream has created such a fantastic world of fear or joy or suffering or pleasure or pain. So similarly, go to a state of deep sleep. There also, I am there. I slept well. That I consciousness, that real I, that is should be our identity, and I should identify there itself. But I am projecting on the waking state experiences. I am projecting on the last night dream. So many people are running for dream experiences, and they want to know what is the meaning of the dream. And what is the consequence of that dream? What is the number coming in the dream? I saw some people are so upset. They saw some number in the dream. And a dream is dream. It has come, it will go away. It has a jumbling of all our past thoughts, ideas and these things. And it is coming from the mind only. So if that mind creates such identity, we get identified there and never look back. What power is behind this? So all the three states of experience, we don't need God to understand this. Our 24 hours, if we analyze, what is our 24 hours life? Sometimes we are in waking state, sometimes we are sleeping, sometimes we go to deep sleep. And then we wake up again. We live in these three cycles of Jagrat, Swapna, Susupti, waking, dream and sleep. And this rotation is going on continuously. One day, 1 month, 1 year, 12 years, 1,000 years, eternal years, million, billion, trillion ages go. That changes is happening in the time. But that unchanging is never bothered by that. And it is constantly sitting. From the day we are born, let us look back to our own experiences. The day I am born until today I am talking, that consciousness has never left me for a split second. Body identity has left. You may have gone to hospital and doctors have given you anesthesia. And for you are totally unaware of the body, what is happening even. But these are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. And these are not real. Real is that which is that. All experiences from some people may remember many things. Some people, we remember certain things, forget many things. But there are many people who can remember very clearly what has happened at many incidents of life, no? But who is the observer? Memory is not possible unless there is an experience. Memory is impossible unless there is an experience. But who is the experiencer? Who experienced? So that is in Vedanta we go to analyze the body, mind, intellect, ego, prana, annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya. These are all Vedantic analysis. It continues there. No? So this is the changeful universe, wrong identity or the normal identity. It can give us eating, sleeping, doing our day-to-day transactional activity, but we go toward the real ID. The real ID will manifest then with a sign, as California has a sign on the real ID card. So similarly, in real ID, when we go back, there will be some sign manifested in our life. The purity, the love, the joy, the blessedness, that state of tranquil mind, which will not be buffeted by any difficulties or problems of life. How much just means chito na dukkheno guruna pivichallate. Gita says, staying in that state, guru dukkho, the heaviest of suffering, will not be able to touch you. That is the state, that is our real ID. If it manifests, we will have to change our identity from this body-mind to that body real ID, which is unchanging. And that is the foundation of me, of all of you, as also this earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, the gross, the subtle, the causal, gods, goddesses, angels, and beyond, even God himself who created this universe. The same consciousness permeates everywhere. And that is, what a glory, that how, if we can think of this, that is my real glory, that's my real ID. And I am falsely identifying. And in this, how much fight and consequential reactions are going on in our life, because identifying with this body, my mind, I think this way, you think that way. So my thinking is right. I understand this way, you understand wrong. All fight is going on in this level of the body, or the mind, or the intellect, or the ego. This small ego, this is called kachami, unripened ego. But there is a big I, cosmic I. Ramakrishna says, pakami, ripened ego. That is the real ID. That is the conscious entity behind all the apparent awareness of our transactional day-to-day living. So here is the call, we'll have to think of our real identity, and real ID card is available in the motor vehicles department, but the real ID card can also be available in our spiritual level of practicing spiritual discipline from your own heart. It will come, and its manifestation will give certain sign that you are approaching the real ID. So we can talk more, but we'll end here today. Thank you all. Next Sunday, please come, because that will be a special lecture I will be giving by Swami Chetanananda Maharaj of St. Louis, and especially he will be lecturing of the Ramakrishna Mount and Mission's 125th years of completion, and also he will talk about our Diamond Jubilee celebration of Sarvada Convent, because our convent here is now 75 years of its existence. So he will be speaking on this topic. So please come next 11th Sunday. Swami Chetanananda will be the head minister of the Vedanta Society. And the class lectures are the same. Please go on into the online and you can find. Today we are very happy to introduce to you, before you, Swami Sumanashananda. He is our now assistant head minister of this Southern California, and Swami has been sent by Belur Math. He was doing great work in South Africa, and she was, because we need it, so the Belur Math is so kind to send him for us. To say a few words about him, the Swami joined in 1978 in our Ramakrishna order, in our one center in West Bengal, Jalpaiguri, and he was initiated by Swami Bhuteshananda Maharaj. And then he was very much involved in teaching and building schools, high schools, and high schools means 11, 12, no? And he was the principal of such schools and became the principal of those schools. And during his period in Ramharipur and Narendrapur and then Malda, there are many activities of the school education has been improved. He was also the head of Cherrapunji, a huge center in the eastern part of India, and many small private centers we call, the devotees run them. So he has to supervise about 80 or 100 such different private centers, going there, encouraging them, and bringing the ideal of Thakur and Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. And after that, Sivanashananda Swami was posted in South Africa as president of the Ramakrishna Center in South Africa in 2015. In the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the center and the 150th anniversary of Sister Nivedita, he was instrumental in installing 5 statues of Swami Vivekananda in Durban, the first in the southern hemisphere and the African continent. Is Durban, Ladysmith, Newcastle, Phoenix, and Chatsworth. So Swami Vivekananda's big statues has been established there on this special occasion. And he was instrumental in the re-affiliation of our Lusaka Center in Zambia. And then he became the spiritual director of Zambia, as also along with his presidency in the South African centers. During his time, a new center, Ramakrishna Vedanta Center at Cape Town, that was set up and officially opened by our Vice President, one of the Vice President, Maharaj. He has also been instrumental in expanding the service of the Ramakrishna Clinic in South Africa, Durban, multi-purpose wellness center, etc. So Swami Sumanashananda has joined us here to be a part of this activity in Southern California, and we welcome him, and we think that he is a good administrator. As also, he has built up so many things, so it will be good that his input will be much beneficial for our further growth and development. I'm thankful to Swami Sumanashananda that he also agreed to come over here. Thank you all. So Swami will I welcome him to speak a few words on our behalf. And then after his talk, then we will go and greet all of you there, and then we can have free time with the Swami in the living room, as we said. Then naturally there will be some tea and snacks outside. After having that, then come. Huh?
No tea, Maharaj, there will be iced coffee.
Iced coffee. Iced coffee good in this hot summer. As also we have some lemonade. That's good. So have that, and then please come to the living room. Then we'll have some talk with the Swami. Thank you. Swami Sumanashananda.
Om Jathagnir Dahika Shakti Ramo Krishna Sthita Hiya Sarva Vidya Svarupang Tang Saradang Pranamamaham. Om Asato Ma Sadgamayo Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamayo Mrittur Ma Amritangamayo. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from unreal to the real. Lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge. And, O Lord, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. My pranams to revered Swami Sarvadevananda Ji Maharaj, my loving namaskars to other monastic brothers, brahmacharins, sannyasinis, brahmacharins, respected and dear devotees and friends. It's a privilege for all of us to be a part of this wonderful holy mission founded by Swami Vivekananda. Actually, the motto was started by Sri Ramakrishna himself with the help of Noreen and others. But this is a twin institution. Mission has been added. Ramakrishna Mission by Swami Vivekananda himself in 1897 when he went back from America and European tour back to India. On 1st May, he founded this mission and made a motto also, Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha. So, this twin institution has got this twin aim also. Maharaj was speaking. Today's we have just gone through a very enlightening, enriching discourse. We think so many things about others, but we don't really think of generally. We are devotees, we think, we have our introspections. Kashidhira in the Kathaparishad, it is there. Only a few people who are very meditative, introspective, they only antaratman ikshate, they look into inside and try to find out the real self, which Maharaj was speaking of. So generally we see and try to think many other things, not about our real self. That is the problem. And Swamiji set up, founded this holy order with the main two aims, Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya cha. One's own salvation, freedom, liberation, knowing the self, knowing the real self, and also in the process doing good to others, because others are not others, others are ourselves, being reflected in different forms and in different bodies. In the Gita, Bhagavan is telling, Ikshata yoga yukta atma sarvatra samadarshana, sarvabhutastam atmanam sarvabhutani cha atmani, Ikshata yoga yukta atma sarvatra samadarshana. Actually, we see a reflection ourselves of our own selves in others, and we see others in our own self. Those who see so, they actually really see the right thing. Otherwise, again, that is ignorance. Lead us from ignorance to the light of knowledge, so that we can really know what actually we are. I am really grateful and blissful, happy, joyful to be a part of this wonderful Vedanta Society of Southern California. And any center is a place of, holy place, a place of pilgrimage for all of us, be it on the top of mountain, or be it in an island, or be it in a very busy jungle of big all skyscrapers, or be it in a jungle. Sadhus like always a place far from this city life, din and bustle, meditative life. Sadhus like. After that, again you come back, and what you have achieved or what you think of, you just be with others also. Jagat Hitaya cha. So wherever we are posted, be it in a city life or in a jungle or in an island, we have to be happy. And with whom we have to be happy? When alone, with my own self, and when in the congregation, with our devotees. Devotees become joyful seeing us. They generally do not see God, but they see the reflections of God, their Ishta Devata, in the sadhus. And sadhus also feel the children of immortal bliss, where they are outside world, full of so many other things. But when our devotees come, we think that yes, these are really the children of immortal bliss. They are trying to live a perfect life, to perfect themselves, to be perfected, to live a soft life and higher life. So we also become very happy in the company of our devotees. Hope, under the guidance of revered Swami Sarvadevananda Ji Maharaj, and with the help of other brother Swamis and devotees, we shall be able to achieve the twin aim set by Swami Vivekananda for all of us alike, sadhus and devotees alike. It is not that only sadhus will have Atmana Moksha. It is not that. We all will have, if we can follow that. And finally, Master, Mother, Swamiji, in our scriptures, it is always said that yes, if you do, Master said, if you come towards God one step, God comes towards you 10 steps to lift us up. Sri Ramakrishna is the avatar of this age. Avatar means who comes down to our level, to raise us up, to uplift us. So we really feel that what we have been, Maharaj was telling, am I the same person? What is my that body about everyone is conscious of? Am I the same person? Baby, child, adult, old age. Then gradually we are also changing, but there is a real I. Swamiji had wonderful lectures on this, the real man and the apparent man. So if we just try to think of ourselves with a little bit of that practice, because practice is what we have to do. Lectures will not, Matma Pravachanina Labho. Only lectures will only No, bahuna srute no. No, listening to lectures and lectures here, this Swami, this center, that also will not bring enlightenment to us. Neither reading, neither lecturing, nor listening, nor any other way. Then how? It is also there in our Upanishad. Can it be realized that what you are talking of, Tat Tvamosi, that, thou art that, what is that? How to know that? That Atman, Paramatman, that consciousness, to be conscious about our own consciousness, that is the point. And our scriptures say, yes, that also can be done. And that is what is the goal of human life. Others cannot do, and we must do. That is why we are here. We are all blessed to be part of this holy movement under the shade of grace of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swami Vivekananda, having these Vedantic teachings and thinking and trying to practice a higher life for which Sri Ramakrishna incarnated in this age. And we feel that the whole world is accepting Sri Ramakrishna's Catholic, wonderful, universal ideas, which actually echoes the Vedantic ideas. It is not for any particular religion, particular race and sex that they will achieve only spiritual experiences. It is for all, one and all. If you try, Chanda Mama, Shakoler Mama. The moon, Mama, means maternal uncle. Uncle, moon is everyone's uncle. It is not that moon's light will be somewhere less and on some people more. If we really follow the dictums, the instructions of our gurus, of our scripture, and Master Mother Swamiji, their teachings, and try to practice those ideas in our own life, we all should be rest assured that, yes, we have not been what we were, and we will not remain the same what we are. Gradually, bit by bit, Shanish Shanai Rupramet. Arjun, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan is telling Arjun, overnight you cannot become a yogi. But Shanai Shanai Uparamet, bit by bit, gradually, we are also inching towards that goal. And through all these good activities, our personal spiritual practices, doing good to others, thinking good for others, through all these things set up by the mission's aim and object and its activities, we all will progress spiritually and experience that wonderful bliss which we are searching for unknowingly. Not only we, the whole world is running after that to get that bliss. Only mistakenly they are searching in the worldly life and not practicing what is required to be qualified for that. And we are knowingly trying to practice those things. So we must have this at the end, or now, or at the end, or after this life. We must, today or tomorrow, we will achieve that. So, thanks to all of you. My pranams to revered Maharaj, my loving namaskars to each and everyone present here. I shall be trying my level best to adjust as best as possible with a new. Earlier I visited America in 2017, nearly 1 month. I had some program in Chicago and Ganges, and then Washington, D.C., Providence, and some of the places I saw also at that time. New York, just my junior brother Sarvadevananda ji took over at that time. So I was once posted also in 2007 in New York, that center, Vedanta Center. But due to something, it did not happen. So again, I had to come back, and now here. So I am very happy to be amidst you all. We are all children of that immortal bliss. Our master and mother are there. So we will find out that source of joy, eternal bliss in this life through our good karmas and spiritual practices. Thanks to all of you. There will be so many chances to speak and have interactions amongst us You will also have to bear with me. I will also have to enjoy your company as best as possible. That I can assure that I will try my level best to follow the instructions, and whatever will be given to me. In the name of Master's worship, we will do jointly all these activities here. Namaskar to all of you. Om Sarve Sukhina Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kushchit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let all be happy. Let all be free of diseases. Let all see auspiciousness and good in everyone and in everything. And let none should suffer from any misery. Om, peace, peace, peace. Hari Om Tat Sat.